YouTube, how you doing? Hope everyone's doing great, having a good day, evening, morning, afternoon, night. We are back for another Borderlands gameplay here. So in the last video, we started the Mad Moxxi's Underdome arenas. We got through the first arena, which was arena number 1, Hellburbia. In this video, we're going to jump into arena number 2. So in between this video and the last video, there's probably been a total of maybe 60 seconds. So I'm just grinding arenas right now. Angelic Ruins. That's the one we're going to be doing. Hopefully we can get this arena done in less than 45 minutes, so we don't have a huge video like the last episode, but we'll see. As explained in the last episode, we are using a modded shield and a modded gun. So if that's not your cup of tea, sorry, we only used it for the Underdome here. We did not use the modded shield or gun for the main story. I just thought because we don't gain any experience, we don't gain anything really from this, would make it a little bit quicker. Otherwise, these videos would, well, these arenas would probably go for hours. I'd probably sit here for a whole day recording the arenas, maybe finishing them. The little ones, the ones that I'm doing now, these 5-round arenas, I probably would have been able to finish with just regular guns and shields and stuff, just hiding behind walls and stuff like that. The 15-round waves, or the 15-round arenas, sorry, I think I probably would have struggled. Just because, obviously, because they have longer rounds, they're going to get higher multipliers. So that, you know, I could end up fighting them with no shields while they regenerate health and they reload quicker, and, you know, it just could get crazy. So I opted to do it this way. Sorry if that bothers anyone. When we finish the Underdome, we will be removing the shield and the gun, or at least not using them, and we'll be going back to our regular loadouts, grinding through the game the normal way. So if you guys are looking for those videos, they'll probably be up in a few days. As stated in the last video, I'm hoping to record at least all of the lower arenas all in one day, which, and by lower I mean like the tier, like the 5-round ones. So this is our second one. We have one more to do. Hoping to get all of those done today, and then depending on what I end up doing today, we'll see whether we get the 15-round ones done or not. Just because, I mean, the 5 rounds take about 45 minutes, which means that the 15 rounds, as you can imagine, probably can take like 2 hours each. It's going to be some big videos to upload.
Yeah, you just completed another wave.
But we'll get there. We'll get there. So we should be up to the Horde wave. Angelic Ruins, I feel like, is the biggest map, or the biggest arena out of all of them. So it's probably going to take the longest. The next one that we have, I don't remember its name, but I would say if I had a favorite, and I really don't enjoy the arenas, but if I did have a favorite, the third arena is my, like, the third arena layout is my favorite. But I'll keep it a stack with you guys. Always honest with you, fellow regular gamers. I don't like the arenas. I am purely grinding this out for you guys, and for the channel, just because we said that we would do everything. My stupid mouth got me into trouble on episode 1, saying that we'd do all the missions and all the DLC. You know, so here we are. I'll have to think about that when we go through and do Borderlands 2. Oh man, I mean, even, like, look at us right now, even with the modded gun, we are struggling. I don't think we would struggle like this in terms of, like, hitting the enemies. but like with a normal gun. But like we struggle to hit them, but the moment we do hit them, like that's it, game over, lights out for them. If we ever go down though, we're probably gonna die. So I gotta be really careful not to go down. Obviously, if you're hearing this, we didn't go down in this video because trust me on this, if we go down at any point in any of the arenas, it's going to take us back to the beginning. I'm going to shut down this video and I'm going to start up a whole new one. And you will never know about it. Oh man, it's up to the boss wave. I'm not even paying attention. Dude spawned already. I think we fought Bonehead in maybe episode 2, and I'll be honest with you, he was a real struggle back then. I actually think he killed us before we killed him. Yo, did they drop equipment every boss wave? Yo, no freaking way. I went through the whole last arena, and I picked up nothing until the end. Does that stuff disappear? Oh, it does! Oh man, where?
Maybe you could go another whole round for me?
Well, at least we figured it out. What a man, we're...
Oh, this is so exciting!
What a dumbass.
Get your boomsticks ready. It's time.
Man, I wonder if anyone would tune in and watch us grind this out if we streamed it on Twitch. I feel like this would be the most boring thing to stream on Twitch. It would be a lot more exciting if I was using like a regular gun and shield, but when it comes to like recording a YouTube video, you don't want to be sitting there in the YouTube video grinding away at an arena for 6 hours. You know, if I can do it in one, I don't have to do any editing. I can do the introduction at the beginning of the video, live. I can record the video and then do an outro all in one. And no need to edit anything. Which is really handy, because my editing computer is on the ground next to me, completely unplugged. Not even connected. So hopefully, we have no need for an editing computer today. I have yet to decide what we're going to do with the 15 round arenas. I'm trying to think of myself as a viewer, and I probably wouldn't watch like anyone play through 15 rounds of an arena in Borderlands 1. Even if it was like my favorite person to watch playing, you know, I probably wouldn't do it. Maybe if it was like a rage compilation, like trying to do this legitimately, dying, like just every death, that I'd probably watch. I love rage compilations. But now that I've said it, if I were to upload something like that, like if I were to come back and do this later, and like record all my deaths and then just post them all in a thing, I feel like it would be less entertaining. It would almost feel forced and fake. You know, like I'm doing over-the-top reactions just specifically to make some content. My mouth, man, always getting me into trouble. That could have been a great video, and I guarantee you, I would have died so often.
Enjoy getting shot? You'd better.
We do it to ourselves. It's gonna be the Horde wave, right?
The Horde wave is coming to eat you. Oh, nom nom
nom nom nom nom. Oh, we spawned in the Horde wave. Okay.
Brick smashers are good. Smash, smash, smash. Go, go, Brick! I can't believe it, Sugar. You're amazing. Beat him down, Brick.
Yay! All right, badass wave. You know what? Maybe I should just stay up here. Enemies spawn with high quality weapons. Yo, drop some of them for the boys. Aliens would be cool though. I think we got aliens in the next one, maybe? Yo, whoever decided that we should like stay up here, 5 head plays. That was some good decision making there. This guy in his freaking Captain America shield. Yo, we hit that guy. It kind of blows my mind sometimes when we hit people really far away. Just, this gun is not the most accurate gun by any stretch. What do we normally stand? It's up here. Oh, actually it's the boss wave, so we might as well get up close. I feel like we might actually be getting through this one quicker than the last video. Gotta check out our guns. I don't really have space for anything new, but we'll check it out. I suppose the equipment that I'm looting from here is a little bit cheap, but I'm gonna justify it and say the time that I'm spending on this is worth a couple of guns. I'm not even getting good stuff anyway, right? We'll pass on both of those. Like, I could sell it, but like, why even bother?
I like it. Keep it coming. You're tougher than I expected.
I wonder if I tried to do this, arena previously. Like the longer arenas. I don't think I've finished all 3 of them on one like save file. I might have gone through and done like one over like numerous different characters just to get the achievements. I'm not sure. I'll have to check that out after this video, and I'm a little bit curious because I love getting achievements. I would say I am a huge achievement hunter. I'm probably not the best. I have less than 100,000 gamer score, but I love achievements, man. I think they're achievements and trophies. Look, I'll include PlayStation on this. I know that they didn't come up with the idea, but I think achievements and trophies were an amazing idea, and I think it's what got me hooked onto that generation of video games, like PlayStation 3 and Xbox 360. It was the... Yeah, come on, guys, where are you? It was the achievements. There you go. There's someone else here? Okay, we're just wasting time right now. Come on. I think I just heard him shoot and he was far away. Yeah, he just shot again. There he is. Man, that's so tedious. Yeah, I think achievements and trophies. I cannot believe Nintendo hasn't really included something like that. Because I think Nintendo make great games. But the replayability that achievements give is insane. Like, I'm really big into Sea of Thieves at the moment, and the main reason I'm big into that is I love the achievements, and some of the achievements are grindy, and I feel so accomplished when I unlock some of those achievements, and they're like 0.07% of players have unlocked this achievement, and I'm like, heck yeah, man. It feels really, really good, and from like a gaming perspective. But I've always been a huge Nintendo fan. Like, I've got a Switch. I did buy the Wii U. Didn't buy a Wii or a GameCube. I do have a Nintendo 64 and a Super Nintendo. The Super Nintendo I don't think was mine. Unless my parents were really poor and decided to buy me like a really old console. That's my first console. But yeah, I had a bunch of those. The Nintendo 64 was probably my most nostalgic console. GoldenEye, huge influence on my gaming life. I know a lot of people say that. Ocarina of Time, Mario 64. a lot of major games back in those days. Gauntlet Legends on the Nintendo 64, massive favorite of mine.
Something cooking, everyone!
I would say that was a bit of an introduction into RPGs for me. GoldenEye would have been an introduction to shooters. I mean, I loved Mario Party, Road Rash. Some amazing games back then. I remember when the GameCube, the PlayStation 2, and the original Xbox came out, and I was telling my friend Josh, who had at the time moved to Queensland. Maybe this was a little bit after they'd come out, because I don't think either of us could afford to get them brand new. But whenever the time came, when he was talking to me about wanting one of them, I was trying to really kind of like peer pressure him into going with the GameCube. Because I was just so blindly loyal to Nintendo, even at such a young age. I don't know how old I was back then, but I was just so fiercely loyal because I'd played the Nintendo 64 so much at that point, and I was just like, even though like he moved to Queensland, I was in my state, so we're in different states at the time. I was like, bro, you gotta get a GameCube. If I get a new console, it's gonna be a GameCube. And he went out, little bastard, and bought an Xbox. His mum bought it for him. And I heard about it over the phone, and I was just like, the betrayal that he bought an Xbox. So I ended up, well, I didn't end up doing this, but my dad eventually ended up getting us a PlayStation 2. So ironically, he went Xbox, I went PS2, and neither one of us ever bought or have owned a GameCube. So yeah, there was that. And then I didn't really play the PlayStation 2 as a gaming console that much. I think I mostly used it as a DVD player. I think it was cheaper than a DVD player, which is probably why my dad bought it, honestly. But I commandeered the PlayStation 2 and moved it into my bedroom and would pretty much use it as a DVD player, which probably had more of an impact on my life than the Nintendo 64, because I just became a huge movie and film buff. Self-proclaimed. But gosh, what games would I say really hit home for me on the PlayStation 2? Lord of the Rings, Return of the King on PlayStation 2. Loved that game. Played a lot of it. Sly Raccoon I enjoyed, but I was like too young or like stupid to really grasp the mechanics of the game. So I didn't ever finish it. Sims Bustin' Out was a great game. Had a lot of fun with that. Oh man, WWE SmackDown Here Comes the Pain. That was probably my MVP on the PS2. Fantastic game. So many hours dropped into that. I'd make my own wrestler, and I would go just play through the endless campaign over and over and over and over and over again. Even though it would eventually get to be like doing the same storylines, it was just great. I don't think any wrestling game since then has been able to replicate how good Here Comes the Pain was. I didn't think the SmackDown vs. Raw games were that great, and then, like, I think it's just become like 2K games. Still not very good. So it's been, I think it's been a year or a couple of years since we've had a WWE game. So I wonder what they're brewing. I wonder what they're going to come out with next. After the PlayStation 2 era, I really got into PC gaming, and I'll use that term very vaguely because I didn't play a huge array of PC games. I played Tibia, which is an MMORPG by Cipsoft, which we are currently streaming on Twitch 4 days a week. Twitch.tv/regular gaming. That I would say, out of any game that I've ever played, maybe all the games I've ever played combined, I would have more hours in Tibia, hands down. I've been playing that game forever. So, fantastic game. Very well, back in the day it was a very difficult, very challenging, very punishing game if you were to die. But it was my first introduction to online gaming. Obviously being an MMO. And just being able to talk to people in other countries and stuff like that. The ping and the lag back then, it was all I knew, so I never really was like, man, this is horrible. You know, now I can see people stream with like, you know, minimal ping, and I can see the difference. But yeah, man. Do you guys just see the accuracy there? If you didn't, scroll back like 10 seconds and just watch me shooting into a crowd, hitting nothing. But yeah, Tibia was a great game. Still play it to this day. Somewhat a little bit on and off, but yeah, it's that became the next game that I played. And I played that for a long time until I think I played it until I was until around the time I got the actually probably when I got my Xbox 360 was when I stopped playing Tibia, because like I was saying, what started this whole story was yeah, I got the Xbox 360 and I just fell in love with it. The achievements, the games, the multiplayer, you know, because obviously consoles now had online play. And I think what really got me though was like my friend Josh. If I didn't play the games with him, I don't think I would have stuck with the Xbox 360. I think I would have played it a little bit and I'd been like, yeah, this is cool, but it wouldn't have captivated me. In fact, it was going over to his house. Obviously, eventually he moved out of Queensland and came back to where I live. But yeah, I think it was going over to his house and playing stuff. God, what was the name of the games? Josh knows the games. It's on the tip of my tongue. They do those. What is it called? It's like the War of the Romance of the Roses or something like that. Oh man, this is murder. It's got like Lu Bu and, you know, Liu Bei and stuff in it. What the frick are they called? I'm so distracted right now. I cannot think of the name of it. Far out. I know you guys probably know it. But I'm just gonna have to move past it and I'll remember it later. But yeah, I went over to his house and I was playing some games on his Xbox 360 and I loved the graphics. I thought the graphics were amazing. I eventually got one and he bought me Gears of War 1 and 2. Fell in love with the Gears of War series, and the rest is really history from there. 2011 was an amazing year for, I think, the Xbox, Microsoft brands. Well, actually, video gaming as a whole, because a lot of the games that I really enjoyed are multi-plat games. But Gears of War 3 came out that year, Skyrim, Dark Souls, all came out that year. There were some great games. He's gonna kill me not knowing this game that I was talking about. Oh, bro, it's called Dynasty Warriors. Yeah, man. So I went over to Josh's house and I was playing Dynasty Warriors with him. One of the first game, probably the first game I owned on the Xbox 360. So Josh bought me like a multi-pack, Gears of War 1 and 2. But I also got Dynasty Warriors. I don't know which number it would have been, like 6 maybe? Dynasty Warriors 6? Oh, God, I loved those games. They were so fun. Haven't played a Dynasty Warriors game at this point in probably a few years. I don't even know if they still make them, what numbers they're up to. But yeah, they were great games. And then, yeah, I've pretty much been, you know, pretty pro Xbox since then. After the Xbox 360, we bought the Xbox One. Look, I did get the PS4 because I never owned a PS3, and I always hated not having both. I thought at that point in my life I could afford both, so why not get both? So I got the Xbox One and the PS4 on launch, and that was probably the big mistake that I made. You know, look, I am pro Xbox, but like I can't deny PlayStation make way better games on average. There's really no argument about that. You know, I like Xbox's platform, their layout, their online services and stuff like that a lot more. But when it comes down to like a single player, immersive, you know, really nice graphics, like just a solid overall game, you know, good writing, good voice acting, just all of that stuff, PlayStation have it hands down. And I feel like PlayStation might have always had it. Like, hey, Xbox had some good games, you know, Halo, Gears of War, stuff like that, but, and like, this is where, like, you can really see, like, Gears of War, to me, is like my gaming baby, you know, like, I love that game and that franchise, and it's kind of dipped a little bit in the latest entries, but it's still one of my favorite games. Gears of War, like some of Sony's games, PlayStation's games, like just in terms of the quality and everything like that, overall, are infinitely superior to Gears of War. So whilst I am a huge Xbox fan, there's really no argument that can be made if people like Xbox make better games than Sony. They just don't. They make great games, but they're not better. Fable, fantastic. Halo, not my cup of tea, but a lot of people love it. Gears of War, big fan. Not a big fan of like Forza and stuff like that, but you know, I know a lot of people do like them. But yeah, Sony have it down when it comes to their games. But yeah, the biggest mistake I made was buying the PlayStation 4 because, again, I bought it day one, right? And if you guys remember, there was struggles for people to get day one consoles back then, worse than it is now. And I didn't play my PlayStation for months after I bought it. It wasn't until Final Fantasy XIV that I really touched my PlayStation 4, and even then I played it for like 2 days. And that's not to say that I didn't have games to play on it. Like, I bought Infamous Second Son, I bought The Last of Us, I bought, obviously, Final Fantasy XIV, I bought a lot of the, like, I bought Spider-Man, Uncharted 4, God of War. I bought a lot of the exclusives, because that's what I wanted. The exclusives, I think, have always been better on Sony for the most part, and so I bought a lot of those. But every time I've never played any of those games. I've bought them, I own them, I have them in this house now. Never played them. You know, so as great as they are in games, never played them. And nothing is sitting here inside of me that's just like, I must play that game. Like, I'm sitting here playing Borderlands again, instead of playing one of those games. There's just nothing that's inside of me that's just like, man, I really need to try those games. I haven't watched any gameplays of them, so it's not like I've kind of like, I know what goes on and stuff like that. I just, yeah. Doesn't mean I can't appreciate them and acknowledge that they're great games. But yeah, I don't know. So when this generation came out, the Xbox Series X PS5 generation, so far I haven't bought a PlayStation 5. that may very well change soon, one day. Probably this year, 2022. I'll probably get one if the supply becomes a little bit easier. The supply has definitely been a factor. I can't just walk into, you know, EB Games, which is GameStop in Australia, or JB Hi-Fi and just grab a PlayStation off the shelf. If I could, I probably would have. But I haven't been able to do that, so I haven't bought one. But yeah. So I would definitely say that I'm primarily Xbox at this point. I still, like I mentioned, play Tibia, and I can still acknowledge that PlayStation make better games. But all of my progress, majority of my friends, they're all Xbox. So I keep coming back to Xbox because of that. Man, story time, talking about games, really made this arena go by a lot quicker. We actually got through it in 30 minutes, which was a lot quicker than the first arena by like 15 minutes, so that was great. Thanks for sticking around, guys. If you have stuck around, mostly probably because of the stories and the trip down memory lane in regards to me, my life, and games, I appreciate that. I appreciate you guys sticking around. Hopefully you'll tune in tomorrow for our final arena, our final 5-round arena. I'll probably record that in, you know, probably like 5 minutes. So yeah, hopefully you know, we get some subs and we get some people getting notified when the videos go live. But yeah, I'll see you guys tomorrow. Bye.